everyone, my name is Josh and welcome to WHIMS, and today, Happy New Year everyone to all my subscribers and to all my casual viewers of my content. I hope you all had a very good New Year's Eve. I hope you had a lot of celebrating, a lot of songs to sing, a lot of happy memories that you've created and all those other things. And I hope you enjoyed the fireworks if you're in London, or if you have fireworks anywhere else in the world. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you saw in the new year you let the old year out and you brought the new year in with a flourish. And I hope you have all the best of luck and all the best of happiness and joy, peace and love in 2024. I hope it's a very good year for you. And for this video, I've got a reading for you today on a short story I wrote right in the beginning of the year, of the month, of the beginning of December. I came up with the idea for this story, and instead of actually telling you what the story is about, I thought, why don't I just read it to you, and you guys can decide for yourselves what you like about it and what you didn't like about it. And if you liked this video and you want to see more of it, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button today and you can get more content. I don't just do readings, I also do reviews of TV shows, films, and even books. And I do a lot of other, content as well. And I'm hoping to talk about my writing a little bit more in 2024 and do more writing related content. So if you're interested in that, please give the video a subscribe today, give a subscription to my channel, and all the best. I hope you're all very well and enjoy. He saw first the threads of matted grey hair loose like premature honeycomb against the lines of his forehead. Joseph smiled. Nathan took off his brown coat and let it swing on the seat opposite his date. Joseph White was in a wheelchair due to complications during his birth, and Nathan was able-bodied, hands wrung raw from a hard day's work. The bold overlaying of flesh from his jowls when Nathan was 15 is still noticeable in his mid-30s features. He still looked beautiful all these years later. Joseph could only tell these features, though, through an amateur photography flash in his mind's eye. Nathan and Joseph surrendered each to their inner child as the two men embraced. "I'm so happy to see you," Joseph said, almost tearful when he looked up into Nathan Hanley's face, the face he saw in many unbroken hours alone in his room with his eyes wide shut. "Likewise," Nathan replied, brushing a gently curled fist across his chin before taking up his seat. "How have you been, Nate?" Nathan pursed his lips as he surveyed his surroundings, a pair of eyes over his shoulders whilst he warmed his hands together. Working mostly, but I'm off now until New Year's. How about you? So you got started on your shopping?" Nathan replied, indicating the chair with a bag of large shapes as he went about making himself comfortable by moving his own hair inwards with an ear-splitting screech, which drew stares from the other patrons. Joseph, moving his foam-coated coffee aside, eyed and rolling up his sleeves, relished in the sight of his companion. "Have you got much left to do?" Nathan added, when Joseph didn't answer. "No, thankfully, I've only got wrapping paper to get, and that's me sorted." Joseph took a sip of his coffee, the residue of foam coating his upper lip in white. "I have this thing where I usually get one gift per family member, and that way I don't have to worry about cracking when everyone didn't get something they wanted, because chances are someone has already bought it for them." "That's actually really good of you. Usually I just get people pound notes or gift vouchers. That way I'm doing my own head a favour in trying to get anyone something they want, and they can just go and get it themselves once they get back on the high street in the new year or the day after Boxing Day," Nathan explained, stealing a glance out the window behind Joseph. "Oh, not good under pressure then?" Joseph asked. "Nah, just think I'm busy enough already with work, and it saves me a migraine when I could just give them the money to get it themselves." "I see what you mean." Joseph shivered as he peered behind him to see what he presumed originally drew Nathan's eye when he looked out of the window. He found nothing noteworthy aside from the odd takeaway cyclist readying to pedal to his preset destination once he'd finished fiddling on his phone. "Oh God, it's cold out there today, isn't it?" "Very much so," Nathan replied. "Did it take you long to get here?" Joseph asked, his eyes now becoming drawn to the jet black. Sorry. "Did it take you long to get here?" Joseph asked, his eyes now becoming drawn to the jet black woolly jumper Nathan was wearing, making his shoulders look broad, like he was taking special care in getting fit. "No. Train journey from platform 7 took 45 minutes. How about you? How did you get here? Take the bus or a taxi?" "No, I drove here in my wheelchair. And it takes about 30 minutes to an hour each way. Nathan laughed then and stopped himself, still smirking when Joseph jolted at the startling boom. I'm sorry, did I make you jump? Nathan asked, obvious repentance in his voice when he realised he had given his date a fright. Oh no, it's okay, I just wasn't paying attention. Oh, why, was I boring you? Nathan asked, a voice given him the mock offended. No, not at all. I was just drifting. I just drifted, like say if you were telling a really good story and I was lost in your words in the same level as I was lost in your eyes. And plates were to be smashed on the floor close by, that would just jolt me out of it, so to speak. It's all a part of my disability. And what is your disability, if you don't mind me asking? Nathan asked, this time sounding more serious. Cerebral palsy. It affects the brain during labour. I was early and premature, so that led to me being in a wheelchair. Mum lost a lot of blood giving birth to me, and well, we're both extremely lucky to be here. Oh shit. Nathan's tone was hardly more than a whisper, yet his eyes were overwhelmed with shock. Listen, I'm going to get myself a cuppa before it closes. Do you want anything? Nathan asked, standing himself up. Yes, please. Can I have a refill on my cappuccino and a blueberry muffin, please, Nate? Nathan went up to get the drinks, as Joseph watched him briefly before rummaging through his satchel bag, fishing out his phone on to check the time. I see you've changed much since the lockdown, Nate? Been taking care of yourself, eh? Joseph asked with a smirk. As Nathan returned to their table. Yeah, I've had a lot of time on my hands, Joseph. Nathan flexed as he quickly folded his arms onto his lap, resuming his seat. No, I haven't actually. I'm about as limp as a turnip on a tanning bed. Fair enough. Now it was Joseph's turn to laugh. Is it the sort of problem you solve with pills, or... Joseph left the question on an outpouring of laughter, leaving Nathan squinting in confusion. What, I'll behave, I'm just out of shape, Nathan answered, attempting to add sugar to his coffee, but the packet wouldn't open. Right, that's it. Joseph's laughter got louder as Nathan stood up from his seat and hurried round to the back of Joseph's chair, getting him in as light a headlock as he could muster without attracting unwanted staring. I'm only playing, you know that, right, Nate? I know, Nathan's voice muffled when he leaned himself into Joseph's neck, leaving visible arcs wherever his mouth moved. I've just really missed you. I've missed you too. The couple's laughter soon died down, and having steadied their breathing, Joseph raised his eyes to look at Nate, whose blue eyes seemed to gleam nostalgia before Joseph and Nathan kissed. A whirlwind of pleasure stirred within as the two left their physical selves of the here and now for the lost cities of those all too familiar sensations, making their simplicity lyrical. Flesh, hunger, desire, and the bitter taste of heartbreak when the world had been torn apart at lockdown. The excitement of the first time having been alleviated before the holy fire experience, an elongated longing from being in lockdown led Joseph to touch Nathan's face and to go deeper in their closeness. Something had changed in Nathan, Joseph knew. He grew worried when Joseph had asked him for a passionate kiss in the time before, when he what came to be known as the vanishing. The world had stopped turning when the monumental eclipse had occurred, and whoever was brave enough to venture out was locked in a never-ending void of pitch darkness. Lights and lanterns burned every day as beacons for those in residences could find their way back home. Those who didn't follow the rules wandered out into the gathering dark, wounded, weary and hungry, forgotten, never to find home or closeness again until those who were lost fell to the ground. Their breathing ebbed away like dust in a breeze. Then there was nothing. No bodies or clothes were found. They simply weren't there anymore. On their first date, Joseph and Nathan were roaming arched corridors of faded brick until in a singular domed arch, crawling with shadows, the two had locked lips and allowed the moment to play out with their manners tossed aside so their closeness could freely bloom. Now he had surprised them both by throwing caution like his manners with that solitary kiss to the winds, opening bit by bit to the promise of something more. The two embraced for a moment before Joseph said, "Thanks, I needed to be lifted in that way." "Why, what's up?" His breath caught in his throat, same as with his breath caught in his throat, same with a nasty pill taken dry. Things haven't been easy since the vanishing. I had to give up my job at the bookshop, and, well, it was hard on everyone. But I don't have to tell you that. Then, out of the blue, my dad gets rushed to hospital. Mum says he was complaining of chest pains, so he says it's best to go to be safe, you know. Joseph sniffed sharply, nodding his certainty as he made to swallow down the memory. So it started off as he was going in for a regular checkup because we just thought it was all routine. We had no reason to worry about anything. Of course, Nathan interjected, nodding while sipping from his coffee. Well, we waited and we waited. Then it was getting on for 6, so we were going for a while. So one of my sisters decided to ring. Suddenly, before she has the chance to put in the number, her phone starts vibrating, right there in her hand. Joseph's breathing stifled with a whistle. Takes a moment. Oh no, Joe. Nathan reaches a hand across the table for Joseph's own. She answers it to find our mum telling us Dad's heart stopped and they're trying to revive him. There was a pause before either man had the courage to speak. I know this might sound like a daft question, I'm sorry if it hurts, but what happened then? I couldn't look anyone in the eye. Joseph replied. I got into my walking frame and I retreated into the bathroom. I put the door on the latch and didn't come out until the next morning, when everyone else had done the same. I'm sorry, Nathan said, caressing Joseph's hand as the residual clatter of the cafe drifted around them. No, don't be daft, Nate. You've been very kind, and I thank you. No. You said in a text you had something you wanted to tell me. What is it? Joseph, taken aback by the question, wiped at his eyes and cleared his throat before speaking again. Well, I was wondering if, Nate, ever since it's Christmas, do you fancy making a go at... He swallowed. Do you fancy making a go at being a couple? Of course. Christmas is a magical time for many. Why don't we make it that little bit special, eh? Nate's teeth are showing like pearls in the void of a room empty of light. Sorry, read that bit again. Of course, Christmas is a magical time for many. Why don't we make it that little bit special, eh? Nathan's teeth were showing like pearls in the void of a room empty of light. That's great. In fact, why don't we make a go of it, and let's say meet back here this time next year and see what happens. What do you think? Wow. Okay, hold on there, Joe. Joseph's smile slipped from his like paper from a wall. I'm really sorry, Nate. It was a stupid idea. I shouldn't have said anything. No, don't be silly. I'm not saying that. It's just Nathan puckered his lips outward in imitation of a raspberry. It's just, it's going to be a long time. I know. And relationships are more than just hugs and kisses and always saying I love yous, right? I know, Nate, Joseph replied with a deflated sigh one does when a child is being given a telling off. He didn't want to appear ungrateful, especially after how lovely things had been. Please, Nate, Joseph asked, a tear of longing in his eyes. I need the loo. While I'm there, I'll think it over, and when I come back, I'll give you my answer. How does that sound? Nate said, and after showing him where the toilets were, Joseph left him to get to the toilet and headed back to his seat. The spark of longing held back desire for romance and happiness showed on his face as he waited for Nathan to finish in the toilet. Yet true to his word, he didn't want to get his hopes up on the chance that Nathan would refuse upon his return. Nathan re-emerged from the toilet with a smile on his face. The sudden and ear-splitting sounds of the chair leg on the polished floor made both men nervous. So when you say a whole year as a couple, do you mean we stay together for a whole year? No hookups or anything? Well, yes. And this is until next Christmas. Yes. Is that okay? Joseph asked, the hope dying with the confirmation they uttered. What happens if we say it's Christmas next year and we feel different about our feelings? What happens then? I don't know. We could still be friends. Joseph's voice became shaky as he tried to control his emotions. You think we're ready for this? I am. All right, but if this ends in tears, I'm not going to be able to cope. I hate seeing you cry, and that's what's going to happen. I dread to think how a row is going to play out. Nathan replied, half joking. Well, we'll just have to try and not piss each other off then. I'm sorry, Joseph. Joseph continued with a giggle. I have a wheelchair with the speed of any motor vehicle, so watch out. Joseph even flashed Nathan a wink to show it was all in jest, surprising them both. The two men laughed, the sound of an ambulance flashing past jolting Joseph with the nerves of shock. So what do you think? Nathan stood up from his seat and walked over to Nathan, kissing him on the lips whilst encasing themselves in a comforting embrace. Yes, let's do it, Nathan replied. Oh, thank you, Nathan Hanley. You're welcome, Joseph White, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Nathan. With that, the two lovers parted and held one another's hands. You're my cradle and frock now, sunshine, so no funny business. Cradle and what now? Cradle and what now? Joseph asked, unable to contain his burst of laughter. Frock, cradle and frock, that's my way of saying rock. Nate, you know the rhyming slang, you can't just make stuff up. Both men's laughter drifted along into the evening when the only thing eclipsing the moon and stars were the lights of a million Christmas trees. So that's my short story, The Festive Proposal. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. Leave a thumbs up, and if you like it, leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more reading content like this, please hit the subscribe button today, and I hope you're all doing very well. Happy New Year again, and all the best for 2024, and all the best. I hope you're all doing very well. This has been Joshua with WHIMS, and take care, bye for now.